Hey everybody, what's happening? I'm Tommy, and you're on the lifeboat. How you been? We're gonna. This thing's gonna be quick, people. It's been a good long day, and there was a ton of cool stuff that happened with Diddy, and riding a pretty good one from last night's or yesterday's news, really about Q and the possibility that we get him out of there. Him getting another trial is a really really big deal. It really is. The Inevitably, right? When things are going good, there's always something that just. I'm going to make a suggestion to all parties involved, and I am on the 4th of December, a couple of years ago, I made a proclamation that I swear to you changed my life quite a bit as a YouTuber, and I'm going to make another one right now. I'm never going to get into a debate with anyone ever again if the subject of the debate has to do with something that is literally wholesale BS, right? Made up, whole cloth. For instance, if somebody calls me a racist, I'm never going to have a debate with anybody on planet Earth on whether or not I'm a racist, right? Because the prospect of trying to prove something that's absolute horseshit from the word go is a waste of my time, right? This is going to be an across-the-board thing for me. It's going to go a long way to helping out with my my mental health. If somebody accuses me of something that is patently absurd, and I can tell you that these 90% of the time, this has to do with me in some way or another hating someone, right? Make no mistake, there are people I hate, but there's nobody I hate because of how they were born or where they were born, right? Or who they pray to or who they don't pray to or any such shite, right? So if you want to take a stance that that's who I am, knock yourself out. But I will not be debating you, and I will not be trying to defend myself against something that's just absurd. And unfortunately, I'd like to tally up all of the time that I've wasted so far in my life on these kind of frivolous debates that are based in fantasy, not in fact. I'm just not going to do it anymore. And I would recommend that all parties involved adopt this as a concept. I think you're going to find you'll be happier campers. If you have any questions concerning the Diddy case, do me a favor and shoot me an email because we are going to be doing some more stuff on Diddy tomorrow. If I do another Diddy show right now, it's just going to be a gratuitous hangout. And at the moment, see, people, unfortunately, I did get into one last debate on my character, and it's the last one I'm going to do. Right, that's the truth. But it's left me with one of those tastes in your mouth that I don't want to. I don't want to come on here and be negative. It's been a really good couple of days, right? It really has. I'm on a friggin' roll, and I'm going to stick with that and roll forward with that. So I apologize. This isn't a longer show. If you have missed anything, there's a bunch of stuff we did today. There's a lot of really cool things happening. Justice, people, seems to be getting served. Suffice to say, today, it feels like there's a little more justice in the world than there was yesterday, right? And once again, it's somebody who started out a victim and then said, I'd rather be a survivor. And she has absolutely, I think, single-handedly. In fact, I'll leave you with this one, though, because it's an observation I don't think that I dropped earlier. But if you listen to the as they start to roll this case out, right? This is the Gasty lawsuit, plain and simple, right? Every single thing in there. They took her lawsuit, and everything in that lawsuit was enough to put this cat away forever. The fact that these women were not willing participants jumps this up into a whole different kind of tax bracket in terms of how much time this cat's looking at. You're talking about kidnapping. You're talking about forced prostitution. You're talking about some stuff that carries ugly sentences, right? What the boys call albums, long play, LPs, right? You're not getting one of the short records. You're getting the entire deal. That's the life in prison stuff. I think there's a really safe chance that he's probably tasted freedom for the last time, unless they get some kind of miracle that is going to get him out on bail. I just don't see that happening with the feds. I think it's fairly safe to say that he's his days of wine and roses are done. The wine he drinks from here on out will be made in the toilet, usually with tomato paste. And oh, man, you're not sipping that stuff and enjoying a meal. It's not that kind of wine. But you know what? Justice. Like I said, I don't like watching people slapped in handcuffs, but that cat, there is something really, really nice about knowing where he's spending the night. And people have already reached out with a bunch of emails that said, how much preferential treatment is this guy going to get? My answer is usually as much as they can buy, right? This guy's not rolling in money anymore. I promise you he's not. He offered $50 million as what he could come up with to get himself out on bail. If you got $1 billion, that seems like a real lowball offer for your freedom, doesn't it? Honestly. Now, I realize that, liquid, but I don't know that was the case. I think he's mortgaged on a lot of things. You're going to hear a bunch about this in the next couple of days. I'll probably cover some more about it tomorrow. But all of those beautiful houses and all of that, those aren't paid off in cash, people. Those are not paid off in cash. I think somebody had sent me an email and said the last time that they had done a tally on this dude was in June. And at that point, his net worth was $400 million. Now, I have not, this is from a viewer. I have not seen that yet in writing. But for a guy they say is a billionaire, I just don't see it. I don't see that he's got $1 billion. I don't. I think he spent money like a drunk. I think he went through it at really sick speed. A lot of really nice properties, mortgaged to the hilt. Those trips on boats and all of the things that those parties, right? $1 million and $2 million a night parties. But I think that it got real right around the time he settled that first $30 million lawsuit. I would love to know how many people he cashed out the back door. You know what I mean by that? When you run in circles with criminals, there are guys that are going to want to get paid off that probably aren't going to hire an attorney. You know what I mean? There were some people on YouTube that were pretty astute. I think you probably heard a lot of people say it at the time, but when he settled that first lawsuit in 24 hours for $30 million, his life was over. Sadly, that's the truth, because up to that point, he was like the cult of Scientology. He just had so much money and he was so frightening. And a lot of people already assumed he had put a bunch of people in the ground, and nobody was ready to take a shot at Diddy, right? And there were tons of people along the way that could have. The coach he smacked the crap out of with the kettlebell, all of the different things that have gone on. But I think after that lawsuit, I think people started coming out of the woodwork. I think that was the beginning of the end. Now there's 8 of those lawsuits going, but it's real obvious they took apart his girlfriend's lawsuit page by page, researched everything she said, right? Got all of that corroboration from her and from other people. And that right there, I promise you, is enough to make sure this cat doesn't ever get out. And I mentioned this briefly on the last show. Just because somebody settles with you doesn't mean that the federal government can't, then step in and say, yo, what you did is a felony, and we're going to charge you for it. And that's exactly what's happening. He went and dropped that $30 million to shut her up, but the whole world knows exactly what was in that, and he's gonna serve an awful lot of time. I was talking with somebody just briefly right before I went live. I was texting a friend who's out to dinner with some big names that know a lot of people that were involved in this raid. And I think it's going to be a very interesting week. A lot of people that don't talk about this are going to be talking about this. I would imagine you'll see this on Surviving the Survivor. I think that Joel will probably be talking about this. He and I were doing a little texting. So this is going to be talked about a lot. There's also people that reached out and said to me, well, he entered a plea of not guilty. You couldn't do anything else if you wanted to. Just for the record. You cannot go into a federal arraignment and enter a plea of guilty. They're not going to let you do it. It's a true story. You could walk in and say, no, hey, I did this. They're still going to enter a plea of not guilty because you really haven't had time to sit down with an attorney and do all of the things necessary to make that kind of an educated decision. So it's pro forma that at the first hearing, everybody is it's almost automatic that they just enter a plea of not guilty for you. So, but trust me, he doesn't intend to change that plea unless he can figure out enough people to throw under the bus. And there are some big names. If you start, I've been farting around since the last video, and if you start doing just a little bit of deep diving, someone earlier said, who could be bigger than he is? Oh, baby. Start looking up some of the names that this cat's associated with, and there's a lot of names of people that are a lot bigger than him. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. I've been going so hard all day. I haven't even talked to those that I love. I'm going to get rolling, people. I will be back tomorrow. Never try to teach a fish to ride a bike, right? You're going to waste your time and you're going to piss off the fish. Have a great night, people. Between now and tomorrow, reach out and try to save somebody. Huh? Good night.